My name is Jim Schellenbach. I am owner of a company called High Yield Industries, and I work with my grandfather. Together, my grandfather and I have developed a liquid spray, plant spray, about 5 years ago. I'll just give you a little history on my family. My grandfather is a row cropper from North Carolina, and he wanted to develop his own surfactant spray. Got tired of the salesman coming to the farm, or I'm not sure. Came down to Florida and operated about 1,700 acres of U-pick farms in Lee County, and in the process continued to develop his own surfactant spray, which is now what we know as Atomic Grow. It started off as an oil, a surfactant oil to make other products stick to plant leaves. But as time went on, and as the technology of our manufacturing plant grew, we were able to figure out a way to reduce the particle size of the product to now what is known as a nano emulsion. So what is a nano emulsion? Well, I'm sure you've heard of nanotechnology. What nanotechnology is particle sizes that are about 1 to 10 nanometers that can only be seen with a scan electron microscope. So instead of an oil, instead of mixing an oil to mix your fertilizer with to stick to a plant leaf, now we carry the oil inside of the plant leaf and we work as a penetrant. So penetrants are on the market today, but we're the only nano penetrant. Is it organic? Yes. We make the product out of organic ingredients derived from corn and other commodities that are grown right here in the U.S. It's food grade ingredients. I'll just rub it on my hands so you know it's safe. So is it organic? Yes. Are we approved organic? No. We don't have an organic approval because of the ammonia that's in the product. There's a trace element of ammonia, and the organic label, the organic OMRI won't approve our product as an organic product because of the trace elements of ammonia, the same ammonia that's in your urine every time you go to the bathroom. So we have yet to understand why they won't approve it as an organic product. But anyway, the history of the product, we started off as an agricultural product used right here on our own farms, and now we're used on soybeans and cotton, corn, peanuts, hay, in order to carry herbicides into those crops to kill the weeds, and in order to carry liquid fertilizers into the plants. It makes all the difference. Just to explain a little bit how our product works, it goes on as an oil, and it is an oil base. But the leaf of a plant has what is known as stomata, which are very tiny mouths that act as leaf receptors that take in moisture and take in nutrients. Atomic Grow is able to get through these plant stomata and actually into the vascular system of the leaf. So organically, we can take a product like, say, Keyplex. So a lot of you probably use Keyplex, which is a fantastic micronutrient and fertilizer. But how are you going to get a Keyplex into the plant better? Well, you just simply mix it with Atomic Grow, and Atomic Grow will carry Keyplex into the plant about 50% better than it would be by itself. So as plants only operate at an efficiency level of about 10%. So they need all the help they can get. What Atomic Grow does is it reduces the surface tension inside the plant and allows all the moisture and all the, the synthesizing of the fertilizer, the synthesizing of the worm castings, and it enables the plant to move these molecules at a much faster rate and a lot easier. So a lot of times you get a visual impact when you spray Atomic Grow on a plant, and that visual impact is much healthier and much more vigorous, much more leaves, much more blooms. So, we also, like I say, you can spray it by itself, which works fantastic if you're already fertilizing your plant with a granular fertilizer, or you've already been spraying it with another product. You just simply hit it with Atomic Grow, and we'll just loosen up the vascular system and allow the plant to process everything more efficiently. Another good thing about Atomic Grow is it increases what's called as the Brix level of the plant. And the Brix is simply, if you've ever used a refractometer, it's a glass prism that will enable you to see what the sugar level of a plant is. So if I was to take the moisture inside of this leaf and squeeze it on that prism, I would be able to tell what Brix level is. And this Brix level of this leaf may be a 3 or a 5. Well, when an Atomic Grow is applied to the plant, the Brix level in the leaf goes up to, 9 or 11. And why that's important is because the Brix level of a plant is also related to systemic acquired resistance, and which means it's going to ward off pests. It's going to ward off a lot of nature's natural enemies. So. Are we a silver bullet for the plant system? No. We're simply a transporter or a carrier. We make the plant healthier. You're still going to need your fertilizer. You're still going to need your good soil in the case of the worm casings. And all we do is make all of these other products work better. So in conclusion, we're currently right now we're working with the USDA and the University of Florida as a carrier and a penetrant in order to get some of these cures that they already have into trees, in order to carry them into trees and make these cures work better. So we've been around for about 5 years, and we're very excited about the future. We're very excited about our technology, and we are very thankful for Kathy Crowley to be selling our product online and to offer the product to Sarasota and the surrounding counties. And that's pretty much it. We have a 90-acre citrus grove off of Pine Level Road in Arcadia. His name is Danny Villa, and he's been using our product for 5 years now. And the problem, we don't necessarily know why the trees are shutting down the way they are. We think it's because of the herbicides they've been spraying underneath the trees. There's some speculation that it's greening. But I think the combination of these things and the increased pesticides they're putting on the trees are causing a blockage inside of the tree, inside of the arteries of the tree. And when you get these blockages, there's really no way to loosen that up and once it's blocked, it shuts down certain parts of the tree. So if the blockage is here and the bacteria is in here, or the calcium or whatever's building up, you get these areas of the tree that shut down, and these trees don't produce fruit. This side of the tree may not produce fruit. And eventually it translocates to all the rest of the tree. So as far as the citrus or Atomic Grow goes on citrus, we go through these blockages and we loosen everything back up because of our particle size. Remember, we're nanotechnology. So when Danny sprays our product on the leaves, it goes inside the stomata of the leaf, it goes into the veins, it goes down into the stem, and it translocates all the way down into the root system. And when it does that, it carries nutrients with it. And because our particle size is so small, we're able to get past these blockages. So it's very exciting. It's brand new technology. We don't expect people to understand it right off the bat. But the fact that it's all natural is really exciting, and we think it's going to be a big element in future cures and future problem solving with all crops. There's a grove right next to his. It's owned by another man, and it's about the same size. And I have a video online. I actually went there and I stood in the back of my truck and I shot photos of it, and it's just night and day difference. And
it says unsprayed, sprayed.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I watched it.
Yeah. And Danny.
He likes that
took
video.
me a while to figure it out, and then I'm like, oh, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Danny. And Danny, he doesn't use any more chemicals. He doesn't use any more pesticides. He sprays Atomic Grow and he sprays fertilizer. and that's it. And does he still have a lot of pest pressure? Yes, and you can see the pest pressure as it relates to the trees that are on the outside of the grove. And that's one thing about a citrus grove, is you can tell the outside trees are the ones that absorb all the pest pressure from all the other people that aren't using Atomic Grow all around you. Similar to Kathy's nursery here, the pest pressure from these full-grown oak trees and all these other trees is amazing, and it's really high. And she had a lot of problems before Atomic Grow was introduced to the nursery, but now the nursery she's sealed it off. With the Brix levels in all the plants are high enough that the pests go elsewhere. Insects don't like sugar; they can't digest sugar, and when the sap sugars of a plant go up, the insects go elsewhere. They're not going to feed on something. Their design is to consume things that Brix levels are low. But all of these things increase the Brix level, the worm casings, the ocean solutions, all of these increase the Brix levels, which is fine. But if you want to increase the Brix levels and you want to do it maybe faster, and you want to have a more want to have more plant longevity, and you want to do it in a healthy way, and you want to help the plant metabolize and synthesize these other products, then you just mix them with Atomic Grow. This bottle here is $25 retail, but it's also, I think this is 16 ounces. So if I'm using it at 1/4 of an ounce per gallon of water, that's going to make me 32 gallons, I think. 32 or 54, I'm not sure. But if my math serves me correctly, I think it's around 30 gallons. So you can take $25, that's about $1 a gallon. And with a gallon of product, I could just about spray this whole island right here, which is pretty affordable. So the application rates and the timing, it depends on how sick a plant is. These plants here are obviously healthy, and she's been spraying them with Atomic Grow. So would I apply it once a week to these plants? Probably not. If you have a very sick plant, then you'd want to apply it once a week until it starts to get healthy and the Brix levels come up in the plant. The reason why you don't need a refractometer to know that the Brix is up in the plant, it's when the plant starts to produce blooms, and when it starts to reproduce, that's when you can tell that the Brix levels are coming up and they're where they need to be. And the plant's healthy, and it's going to ward off insects. And it's going to the sugars are also going to attract the beneficial insects. And one thing I didn't talk about, what's that?
I said that was interesting.
Yeah.
The bad insects don't like the sugar, but the good ones do.
The good ones do. Bees, your milkweed, all your butterflies, that's all going to be attracted to a high Brix plant, a high sugar plant, high in sap sugars. If you've ever broken open or bumped into a pine tree, it's full of sap, and that sap's very sticky. Well, that's sap sugar, and every plant has it. And Atomic Grow simply enhances the sap sugars of the plant. So when you get into root systems, Atomic Grow works its way all through the plant and becomes systemic in the root system as well. So if you have a product like worm casings around your root systems, and then you have Atomic Grow going in through the root systems, there's a process that at the root system where it interacts with the soil, and it's called a cation exchange. It's like a microscopic explosion, and what happens is it absorbs the worm casing, or absorbs the nutrients in the soil much better. So it also wards off nematodes. Nematodes don't like roots that are high in sugar. So we have a big problem with nematodes here in Florida. Golf courses have a big problem. So if you can increase the Brix levels of your root systems, you ward off nematodes as well. And if you have a product like the worm casing ready to go, it's going to enhance the whole effect of your plant much better. Also, when we're about to have a freeze, another benefit of Atomic Grow is if you can raise the Brix level in a leaf. If I can raise the sugar content in this leaf, if you can imagine a glass of sweet tea, and you can get some pretty sweet tea around here. Well, if you set it out, if I set a glass of sweet tea out in the sun here, as the water evaporates, the sugar content in the tea is going to get a lot higher. So when you get down to about this much, it's going to be almost pure sugar. Well, same goes with a plant leaf. If we have a freeze coming, the plant leaf is full of water and the Brix levels are low, that plant leaf is going to freeze a lot faster. 32 degrees, it's gone. when you have Atomic Grow in your plants, and especially if you spray them the day before, you're going to be able to ward off that freeze down to about 28 degrees. And so it's very interesting when we don't make a lot of those claims, because that's, we could get into a lot of trouble if someone went out and assumed that they were going to save a corn grove by spraying their crop, strawberry plants. But it does work. We've done it on soybeans, and we've done it on some other crops, and it does work very well. So a lot of insects are underneath the leaf. You don't need to spray the bottom. Atomic Grow will go right through the leaf. Yeah, and it'll find its way. And you can actually, in Kathy, we have a video on this with a mulberry tree. She sprays one side of the tree, and the other side, it translocates through the tree. The USDA was spraying some citrus, and they were spraying it on the bottom of the tree, and they could detect it in the top of the tree within just a few hours. When you go out into your gardens and you see dew and it's beating up on the leaf, as that dew dries, it's a transportation for fungus and other products to get inside the plant. So when you spray Atomic Grow, like in the morning, if there's dew on these, it'll knock the dew right off the leaf, and you can literally watch it. And the plants have what's called a waxy cuticle layer, which is, I don't want to tear off a good leaf. Citrus trees have a hard waxy cuticle layer, and that's a nature's natural protection against insects and supposedly canker, but it doesn't protect them against it. But what Atomic Grow does is it softens that waxy cuticle layer, and it allows it, and it goes inside the plant. Right, and as the plant leaf rebuilds that waxy cuticle layer, it comes back stronger and stronger and stronger the next time. And so every time you spray, you're actually just fortifying that plant. So it's but there's other products on the market that penetrate, and what they do is they strip that waxy cuticle layer. There's a product they're made from citrus, and they're made from other caustic chemicals that other surfactants, resins, petroleum, that will all soften and cut that waxy cuticle as well. But what happens is they clog it in the process, and so you lose your photosynthetic capability of the leaf, hence you lose your production of the plant. You can sit there and watch the leaf. You can watch it go right in the leaf. If you have a magnifying glass, it's really neat, and it'll just lay on that leaf like a sheen until it goes in. And the root system of a plant is pretty much pure carbohydrate. It's pure starch. That's why it's white. It's just like a potato in the ground. It's the same thing. So it starts when you spray a plant. It doesn't necessarily do anything for a couple weeks. What's happening is your root systems are growing, and you're putting on root hairs. And as the uptake increases, then you get the top growth. Right now is a great time to spray. It really works well in hot weather when things are moving and molecules are moving a lot faster, and moisture and this sort of thing. When you mix, when you have fungus blocking a vascular system of a plant and you have nanotechnology coming at it, then what's going to happen? It's going to emulsify it, and it's going to block it, or it's going to emulsify it just like you would be able to emulsify mold on the side of an old trailer. Like I say, we've been around for 5 years. We're really super excited about it. And we're not in competition with any other product on the market, because we're unique, but we just want to be with it. We want to complement Keyplex. We want to complement Ocean Solutions and some of these other products. I will say that mixing Atomic Grow with Miracle Grow, even though the numbers are the same, the NPK is the same, is not the same as mixing it with Keyplex. If I had a 555 Atomic Grow or a Miracle Grow and I mixed it with you'll see right away how good your fertilizer really is. Atomic Grow is going to bring out the best or the worst in your fertilizers. And I can tell you that they have some very, very good stuff. I have mixed it with Miracle Grow, and it's like, hardly anything happens.